This episode was inspired by one of my favorite sayings, balance is a verb, as in you are never going to achieve a state of balance. It is not a static way of being. It is an ever evolving, dynamic, proactive way of engaging in your environment and kind of continually checking in and being like, does this feel good now? Here's the thing about boundaries, my friend. They are exactly the same. So let's talk about building better boundaries, because it's not just simply about establishing a boundary, recognizing, I call it my invisible line. I can never see it. I never know when I'm going to cross a boundary. I do it all the time, but I can absolutely feel it. I feel it in me first, and then I will recognize in others when I am crossing a boundary. But that people pleasing thing is pretty insane, right? And so you kind of try and step back and people feel that pull and then they want to push, and it's like this whole dance that we're doing. So recognizing what a boundary feels like to you is your first step. Boundaries are literally protection. They're safe. You know, it's the rules, it's the parameters, it's the expectations, it's how we minimize disappointment and regret and resentment, right? And bitterness and frustration and failures by just simply identifying like this works or this isn't. And then being able to communicate that. Sometimes you don't actually need to say any of it out loud. It's just going to happen all up in here, because when you can hold your own boundaries, you good. People will respond to them. And sometimes it's kicking and screaming and yelling and accusatory and like awful. But if you're holding your own boundary, my friend, you don't care. And I know that from experience. This is about boundaries being a verb. So you know how to build a boundary. You've established a few boundaries, and now they're feeling a little constraining. Like, I don't need that supportive, protective layer holding me in here. Actually, like, I want to like roam free in the wild. That's cool. That's why boundaries are a verb, because what you've done first and foremost by building a boundary is shown yourself you can keep you safe. That's that level one energy, my friend. When we feel victimized, resentful, apathetic, hard done by, everything is happening to us, we don't feel safe. And no one can make you feel safe and secure but you. That's what boundaries are for. And once you trust yourself, once you recognize, oh, I'm actually in charge of my own security, everything in your life will change. Like fucking everything. The way that you relate to others, the things that you enjoy doing and the things you want to engage in, the way you move your body, the way you navigate through your world. Like when you feel safe, it's unbelievable. So we build boundaries to protect them and their time and their energies and to manage others' expectations. I talk a lot about what happens when you establish a boundary. It's wildly uncomfortable for everybody involved, most especially the boundary builder. This is about what happens when you want to move that boundary, right? So prepare. You've already done this once before. You now know how to do this. Again, you've established that sense of safety, recognizing I'm going to experiment with this. I don't feel like I need those same parameters. I don't feel like I need those same rules. I've been doing that a lot recently. All of my rules no longer apply. This is why recognizing boundaries are a verb is really important.